I love it when the guests in the studio start singing along to the song, which is absolutely brilliant. They're all loving that. And Jack Savaretti and Love is on the line on BBC Radio Gloucestershire. We're talking Henry V this afternoon on at the Barn Theatre, the award-winning Barn Theatre in Cirencester. But I think it's great when you read a note from somebody who's been along to see a production. This is Cara, who says it's brilliant. I can't imagine anyone being disappointed. I could watch it over and over again, and I don't like Shakespeare.
Wow.
And I think isn't that lovely?
Good old Cara.
Yeah, exactly. Right, let's introduce the cast. We have, in no particular, it's like Anton Deck, isn't it, on Britain's Got Talent? In no particular order of importance, we have Sarah Waddell.
Yes,
you play.
That is an order of importance then. So
you play the Queen of France.
I do.
That's a bit of a responsibility. We'll ask you all about that in a minute.
Brilliant.
We have Alicia Charles, who
Hello.
plays
Williams and Bardolph.
I know you do. We have Adam Sopp, who plays...
I play Pistol and Constable.
Okay, so you're the loud one when that goes off. We have, of course, Aaron Sidwell, who takes the role of Henry V. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you very much, Steve, for coming in. Barn Theatre, by the way, is this your first production there for you?
For me, yeah, I think for all of us. It's only been going a year, but it's certainly established itself within the year.
I remember talking to you when it was all first set up, and it was a huge deal when it opened, and trying to get the community involved. And since then, it's gone from strength to strength. They're winning awards, and it's so inclusive. And then when you read a comment like that from Cara, I know there are lots of others. It must be kind of heartwarming when you turn up in an area that you don't know. You probably don't particularly know Cirencester. You turn up somewhere and you go, people actually want to come along and see this, and they're enjoying it as well.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful place to spend 8 weeks. Are we here?
Yeah.
8 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
8 weeks in Cirencester.
Yeah.
You can make a movie out of that.
Yeah.
They have.
I think
you
they
can
already
see
have.
it on the stage. Yeah.
For people, tuning in of all different ages, I know this is kind of for over 11s, that sort of age group. It's kind of it's a different slant on this, but if you don't know the original slant, then you'll take it as sort of a beta, won't you? Is there a huge difference from the original text here, would you say?
No, the text is exactly the same, but we've just taken the text and applied it to the modern day context, so modern day politics, modern day warfare, and it fits like a glove. You wouldn't think that it had actually been written for before. There's lots of heavy scenes, but then there's moments of real effervescence and light moments in the play that we have honoured.
Is it kind of hard to get into that sort of headspace, because you're approaching it completely differently, aren't you? Even though I know the text is the same.
Yeah. So there's moments where you have to kind of, because our monarchy doesn't necessarily behave in the same way as the monarchy used to, but obviously that's what we're playing. So we chatted and we discussed about it being more of a leader than a king, as it were. And so we kind of looked at who the leaders of today are, the motivators of today are.
Wow, it's deep stuff, isn't it, in a way?
Yeah.
And you don't know how people are going to absorb the production, do you? And that's what's nice. People take away different bits of it in different ways, I suppose.
Yeah,
don't they?
I remember thinking it's either going to be amazing or terrible, and thankfully it's amazing.
Sarah, tell us a little bit about how you ended up in Henry V.
Well, actually, this is my very first Shakespeare. I think there's quite a few of us in the cast that haven't done Shakespeare before.
Why not? No,
I know.
Why not?
So it's lovely to be doing it in such a modern way, rather than doing it in the old-fashioned way.
Is it because we all kind of secretly sort of dread it because of what happened at school, maybe, for O-levels or A-levels or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't a big Shakespeare fan when I was growing up. I found it very heavy and difficult to get into. And to be fair, I didn't really know Henry V before getting the casting for this.
That's probably an advantage.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I think, yes, I think you can get entrenched in playing things a certain way, and I'm doing Shakespeare, darling, so you've got to speak like that. But they're just words, and they were written modern time 500 years ago for a modern audience 500 years ago. Yeah. And human nature hasn't really changed. I mean, Shakespeare writes for humans, characters, and the characters, he writes everything from, kings to hookers to, just general everyday man, people who are, downtrodden and people who are higher born. So And we're still like that today. I mean, human nature hasn't
Well,
changed.
no, the only difference between now and 500 years ago, whatever, is social media.
Well, yes, exactly.
really.
And we're using that within the show. I mean, we've brought that into the show. There's mobiles, and so the meaning of the words still resonate today. And it's really interesting how much it does actually to the modern political climate. It really relates.
I'm really liking the sound of this. Alicia, Charles, tell us a little bit about what we experience on stage with Williams and Bardolph, with your characters.
Well, they're both quite different characters. I guess, they're modern characters now. So Bardolph is part of a threesome with Nim and Pistol, and we're all, old friends that decide to follow Harry to war. And then the consequences I won't say, because then I'll ruin the story.
Ruin the story, but no, that gets us going straight away. And how did you get the gig? Have you done Shakespeare at school?
Yes, I did Shakespeare at school, which was
pleasure.
Not really, because it's kind of took the drama out of it, and just sitting reading it, it wasn't the same. You have to see it. Yeah. You have to hear the words out loud.
Either that or your teachers needed to be more creative at the time.
Absolutely.
Come on, live, breathe it. Right, okay, that's all we've heard from most of you so far, apart from Adam. Adam Sopp plays Pistol and Constable. So are you the loudest?
The empty vessel makes the loudest sound.
Hey, get a call.
Pistol, who I play, is quite a loud character. He's the leader of the East Cheap mob. Yeah. So he's in charge of Bardolph and Nim, and he makes a lot of noise. And then Constable is the French ambassador, and basically does the Queen's talking abroad. So he brings the war to Henry, as it were. And then Henry invades France and brings the war back to him.
Wow.
There you go. It's a really important part of history, though, isn't it? That you're bringing to the stage in Cirencester, Aaron.
Yeah, hugely important. I think the interesting thing is, if Henry V hadn't died so young, the shape of things now, we would never have had the War with the Roses. Our religion would be completely different. So it's a fascinating context, really, to put it in now.
All right, brilliant stuff. I know there are probably a few surprises on stage as well. I know, having been to the barn, the lighting's always incredible, the special effects and the music as well. We'll mention some of the other team involved in just a minute. Henry V, by the way, when does it go on until? I know
the
that
22nd of June.
See, when we were out in reception, you said that straight away, Sarah, so that's good. So plenty of time to see it. The cast of Henry V in the studio till about 1:30 this afternoon on BBC Radio Gloucestershire. Let's have a little bit of Go West. They're singing along this as well. It's a ringtone.
My ringtone, guys.
Yeah, I mean, Pistol is a bit of a scary guy. He's a bit of a minotaur. He might as well have horns coming out of his head.
Yeah, he might as well. I mean, do you sweat quite a lot playing that role? Because it looks like it's quite.
Not as much as Johnny Wolfe.
One of the guys plays Nim. He's
really?
a very big sweater.
Yeah. Okay.
But because we double up, so there's a lot of quick changes. I think I do 10 quick changes in the first half alone.
10?
So,
10?
Yeah, every scene I'm changing costume to come back on as a different character.
So what happens if something, I don't know, you just get your arm stuck in a jumper?
Yeah, that happens. Then you've got to hope that you don't rip it as you stick it on.
I'd be really stressed out. How do you keep calm?
Breathe. Breathe and try not to sweat.
Matt Ray Brown's quite good at keeping calm.
Yes.
Yeah, he's got a flappy bird nature.
Oh dear! Right, Sarah,
yes.
Queen of France.
Yes.
How many costume changes for you?
I'm not too bad. I play the Queen of France and a soldier called Gower, who's very Scottish. Well, I play her very Scottish.
Right.
I'm putting this on right now. I'm actually.
Well, actually, you're not at all. Yeah,
I'm in character.
So you're dressed as a soldier here as well.
Yeah. So it's great fun. We get to play with guns. We get to shoot people. There's a whole. I mean, we've brought the Battle of Agincourt to the Barn Theatre stage with 8 of us, and the technical guys have done an amazing job with the sound and the lights and the smoke and it's amazing. I mean, the music's all been written specifically for the show, and you don't really need to get yourself worked up. The music does it for you. We're sitting there going, we're about to go and get killed, and the music is just fantastic.
Sounds like so a bit like when you go to Disneyland and you get given a poncho just in case you get wet. Do you get given earplugs on the way in?
Well,
just in case
there are aspects. People on stage are wearing earplugs for certain bits of it, which we won't give away.
Well, we won't. We don't want to do
But,
that,
yeah.
do we? Alicia, as well. You're in the street gang, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah. Is that pretty good?
Yeah, great. I also play the soldier Williams as well, which is a very different aspect to Bardolph. So I've had to learn a lot of military jargon and like flanking and things like that, and all this to go with the Battle of Agincourt and for it to be very, authentic.
As actors, is it really good to take you out of your comfort zone if you are indeed ever in a comfort zone as an actor?
Yes.
Oh,
Should never get in a
absolutely.
comfort
Yeah,
zone.
it's the joy.
I think that it's so technical, this show, that the slightest thing for us could just go wrong, and it's gone wrong.
Well, we've had a few incidents.
Yeah, but
namely, I mean, obviously I've had a black eye. That was Sopp blacked my eye.
You fell on my elbow.
Really?
Well, you had your elbow up, so
Which you fell into.
Well,
Is that what you're going to say to the judge, is it?
Yeah.
She fell over, sir. Right, let's have some weather. We'll play you some Peter. You're a big Peter
I
Gabriel
love
fan, aren't you?
Peter.
And then you can tell us all about when it's on until. It's the cast of Henry V. It's on at the Cirencester Barn Theatre. By the way, viewers listening, the artistic director, but he's a good bloke, isn't he?
He's a lovely
great,
bloke.
yeah.
He's a
Altogether
very
lovely
nice
man.
guy.
All right, let's do some weather from Dan.
Hello.
Peter Gabriel stopped singing now because you should have heard that a minute ago. Particularly, you absolutely love your music, you guys, and there's lots of good music in Henry V
thanks
on
to
the Barn Theatre.
Harry Smith.
Harry
He's
Smith.
a very, very
big
good
shout out to
composer.
Harry.
Yeah.
Tell us all
Yeah.
about Harry.
Well, he's done all the music.
He goes under the name of Demi-Groove, and he's a big electronic producer and has composed the score for the show completely from scratch.
Wow.
And it's
Yeah,
great.
there's a big song at the beginning and part of the rave, and one of our other cast members,
She sings it.
Lauren Samuels,
Okay, get all
with
those
her lovely
mentions
dog Paul, do the singing on that.
Paul doesn't sing on the
No,
track.
well,
though, does
no,
he?
he's just in the background going.
Is that her actual dog, though?
Yes,
Well,
our dog Paul
that's
is
handy,
like
isn't it?
a tiny little dog.
If you're in a production, you just bring your dog along and you kind of, not
Yeah.
necessarily create a
And
part, but-
everyone helps look after Paul.
Paul,
don't
we
they?
do. We
We
all
do. We all take our turns.
Yeah.
He's a little Pomeranian. He's tiny. Tiny
I should say I didn't introduce you because someone might have just tuned into the radio.
What are they talking about?
He's just played some Peter
Sorry.
Gabriel. They're all singing all over Salisbury Hill. We're talking to the cast of Henry V at the Barn Theatre. It's BBC Radio. Aaron Sidwell plays Henry V, Adam Sopp plays Pistol Constable, Sarah Waddell, Queen of France, and Alicia Charles, Bardolph and Williams. What have you personally got out of this role, Aaron, for your future, if you like?
Well, when I finished my last job and the conversation I had with my director was, I want to do something that I don't even know if I can do. And so when this came along, it was such a leap. I played Tybalt in Romeo and Juliet before. That was the only Shakespearean role I'd taken on. So to go from that to this, I had a huge faith put in me by Yuan and also our brilliant director, Hal Chambers.
Hal Chambers. We could say brilliant. I
Yeah, Foursquare champion Hal Chambers.
Foursquare cross down. No,
There's a
he's
little
very,
bit
very
of
good. He's a
disagreement
joy.
going on here.
I know.
No, he's brilliant. I was being sarcastic.
Sarah won't get another job with Hal. So yeah, it was. It's an absolute gift. I don't have to fill in any blanks. Everything's done for me. It's I live the whole show on stage with the audience, so you kind of go on the full journey with him, and it's amazing. To take on such a big role at 30 feels like a huge honour.
Big privilege, isn't it? Adam, for you, I mean, I guess, in a role like this, you focus on it and you don't think about what's coming next, do you? You don't think post 22nd of June.
Well, I suppose, as an actor, you're self-employed, so you've kind of got to. So I'm a musician as well. So I play with a couple of bands. All Things Matter is one of the main bands I play for. So I'm supporting Bob Dylan and Neil Young at Hyde Park on July 5th.
You just threw that curveball
I know,
in
just
there.
a little bit of a
Just say that again, you're supporting.
So we're supporting Bob Dylan and Neil Young.
Okay, can everybody else leave the studio,
Yeah,
please? Wow.
And then we're playing in Paris for Rock the Seine Festival at the end of August.
Wow.
So,
Apart from that, it's just normal 9 to 5 job, isn't it?
Yeah,
really?
exactly.
What about you, Sarah?
Well, I mean, I bake biscuits. That's about as much as
what
I've
biscuits you bake?
Very good biscuits. Your brownies.
And you do a wicked
Huge
sort of Peter
batches.
Gabriel
And
impression.
a great Peter Gabriel impression. Maybe
You
that
look
should
quite
be my
like him
other
as
thing.
well.
Yeah, I do.
Have you ever
I
done
shaved
have you done
them.
comedy at all? You strike me as someone that's done a bit of stand-up.
I have done a one-woman standy-uppy singy thing, yes, that I wrote myself.
Oh, wow.
Which potentially I will be doing again at some point. But yes, so I've got 7 new wonderful friends out of this production.
Yeah.
There you go. That's very
6.
Don't be sarcastic, Sarah.
Alicia, but do you all, will you stay in contact now?
Yeah, I think so.
You don't have to say that just because you sound like...
BFFs.
No, it really has been. It is a joy. Everyone's lovely.
Yeah,
we
it's
got on
been
really
great.
well. It's
Yeah,
just
we
as well. We got on really well, to
Yeah.
be fair.
Yeah.
Because it would be awful if we didn't.
Quite often you leave a job thinking, I'll stay in contact with maybe 1 or 2 people, but actually on this job it feels like we have all got on very well.
Yeah.
all
Some
right,
of us more than others.
What? Paul has just tweeted, I have thoroughly enjoyed this. Play Henry V was brilliant at the barn. We thought, it was a bit of a loud gunshot. But so you don't want to tell people
No
when
spoilers.
that's
No
happening, is there?
spoilers.
Little
All
spoiler.
right, okay. So you just need to be aware.
Yeah.
There are some,
Yes.
some loud gunfire.
I think it's obvious when it's coming as well. It's not like a sudden surprise.
Exactly. And nobody sort of gets up and starts running out or anything like that.
No.
I don't think it's
Not
the start
that we
of
know.
You do see them
I think it's the
literally
start of a
jump.
race or something like
Yeah.
that.
You do see
No.
people literally jump out of their seats, though.
All
It's
right,
great.
okay. So Henry V, it's on until June the 22nd. Go along and see the whole top team. Have we mentioned everyone in the lighting and the sound?
No, I don't think so. We need to
We
do
haven't
a
mentioned
quick-
Ben
Oh,
Collins,
who's sitting in the
Collins
studio
is
with us,
right
who
here.
did
he is.
all the
Hello,
amazing
Ben.
projections
He's doing
on the
all this
show.
amazing projecting.
Yeah.
He's currently filming something.
Which,
for-
I mean, you literally say, we need that, Ben, and it's there 5 minutes later. He's amazing.
Genius.
Right,
Yeah.
Okay, he's going red at the moment. So you heard from Aaron Sidwell, plays Henry V, Adam Sopp, Pistol Constable, Sarah Waddell, Queen of France, and Bardolph and Williams, played by Alicia Charles. Thank you very much indeed for coming in. I'll give out all the ticket details of how you can go along in just a minute. Do you want to sing along to our next song?
Oh, what is it?
Yeah.
It's a bit of Take That.
Oh, yes.
Classic.
It's a bit of
Love
Could
a
It Be
bit of
Magic?
Take That.
Thank you. It's the cast of Henry V
love
at the
this
Barn Theatre.
She's off.
She's off again. The cast of Henry V on at the Barn Theatre in Cirencester till June the 22nd. We're just about to leave the studio, and after chatting to me, they all had their heads sort of bent round at the television. And they're all having a bit of a chat, and I said, what are you all about? And I said, we've all been in there, and they're all pointing at the television. What programme were we talking about?
Doctors.
Oh, Doctors, that data. Oh, Doctors, yeah. So,
Some of the greatest TV the
Yeah.
BBC has ever made.
So, okay, let's go through. Aaron, who did you play in Doctors?
I played a naughty young man who got arrested for resisting arrest.
Okay.
And it was just very cocky.
Always the naughty
Yeah,
Always
yeah,
the
right.
naughty one.
Naughty
And,
Typecasting.
I've done it 3 times. The first time, my dad was a vicar, and I was a badly behaved teenager. Second time, I lost a spider in the surgery.
you lost a spider.
Lost a Brazilian wandering spider. And then
That's
the
the best.
third time I did it, I was an evil piano player for Josie Lawrence.
What? It's like,
Aren't
oh
they all?
dear, Sarah.
I played a woman whose dad wanted to come off his medication for MS, and I didn't. I thought the doctors were taking him off it because it was too expensive. But I had to come to the realisation that my dad was going to die. It was a comedy episode. It was
Okay.
fun.
Quite harrowing in a
Yeah.
way. Alicia, Doctors.
So I've also been on it 3 times. It was probably my first job, and I played a woman in a gay relationship. It was probably quite one of the first programs that explored those themes. Then I played a secretary who had no sense of smell, and her love interest had a medical issue where he smelled of fish.
Wow.
So it was a match made in heaven.
I love the fact that this is great when you do your Skype auditions. You can say, I did this. Oh, thank you so much for coming in. Good experience, Doctors?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Great training.
Absolutely.
But don't watch Doctors at the moment. Listen to the radio, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously. Thank you, guys. The
Thank
cast.
you.
Catch it on iPlayer though. You know.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Don't forget, John Smith on the evening show tonight from 7. Last night was the turn of Steph and Rita from Gloucester to take on The Residency, which sees guest presenters every night between 9 and 10. They were celebrating 5 years of the World Cafe, even if some bits were a little rough around the edges. Have a little listen to this.